Jesus says, I came not to call the righteous, but sinners. Those who are well, no need of a physician, but those who are sick. And Jesus was a great physician, went about healing and curing people. Now, at least in India, the prescription written by a doctor cannot be understood by common people. And so whenever we get it, we look at it, and sometimes we murmur, what is it? Nothing is clear to us. But when we go to the pharmacy, they know it and they give the medicine, and once we get the medicine, it changes life. It heals. Now, Jesus is giving a prescription to Matthew. Come, follow me. Instantly, Matthew follows Jesus. He leaves his career, he leaves his home, he leaves all his wealth, and he is following Jesus. It's difficult for us to understand, but for Matthew, it was clear. He understood what God wanted him to do. Therefore, he leaves everything for the sake of Christ and follows him. And Jesus was dining in his house with all his friends, tax collectors. So usually, tax collectors are considered to be sinners who would take as much as taxable tax from the people, and then they had no social status, good social status in the society. And so the scribes and the Pharisees were murmuring, like as the doctors give the prescription, we don't understand and we murmur, and one who is accompanies also will murmur. So the scribes and the Pharisees were not understanding what Jesus was doing and the mission of Christ. They were very stubborn and obstinate, so that their eyes were not open. They could not see the reality that was working in front of them. And so Jesus dines with these people, and in a way he was healing all of them. God has not come to call the righteous, but he has come to call us sinners, to save us, to redeem us, to give us life. And Matthew understands these concepts, and he follows Christ, living all that he had. And then he gives his life for Christ. He was stoned to death. That is how he dies. For the sake of Christ, he was ready to die. Now, let us look into ourselves. God has called us. We are all his children. But we need to follow Christ as Matthew was following. But in the first reading we have heard, some are called apostles, some are called to be prophets, some are called to be doctors. So different careers, different portfolios we have. So it doesn't mean that all of us, like Matthew, have to follow Christ, leaving behind everything we have. So Pope says, we need saints with t-shirt and jeans, because God has called us to proclaim the gospel wherever we are, at our home, at our family, in our society, in our working place, to spread the gospel. So, as God has called us, let us become aware of our call. Let us become aware of the prescription. Come and follow me. Let us, for Christ, do everything for the glory of Christ. Therefore, in today's first reading is very beautiful. He says, live your life as a calling you have received from the Lord, in humility, in gentleness, patience, loving one another. That is what God has called us all. Let us love one another, share with one another, and in loving and sharing, let us spread the gospel wherever we are.